Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Red Truck Radio. I'm Adam Hueckstaedt, and today we're driving into a topic that truly sits at the heart of who we are at Wausau Supply Company: employee ownership. For many of us, the ESOP isn't just a retirement plan, it's a mindset. It's pride in the work we do, accountability in the decisions we make, and the long-term value we create together. Today we're taking you behind the scenes to understand the why and how of ownership, and we've got three incredible guests to help tell that story. Kicking this off is Melissa Olsen, our Total Rewards Manager, who's going to break down the nuts and bolts of how the ESOP actually works. After that, we'll talk with Shalom Wicks, Chairman of the ESOP Communication Committee, about how the ownership shows up day to day. And then we'll wrap up with longtime employee owner Gary Penhale, who brings a powerful personal perspective on how ownership has meant throughout his career. This one's packed with insights, personal stories, and the kind of conversations that remind us why being an owner truly matters. So let's jump in. So, Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing great, Adam. How are you today?
Doing very great. Doing good. A new role at Wausau Supply.
Yes.
Total Benefits Manager.
Yes.
What is that?
Rewards?
Yeah,
Reward you benefits.
Oh, yes. It's all about the employees, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about this role.
All of the compensation philosophy and navigation through UKG, the HRIS, market rates, and then also all of the benefits. So that would include all of the medical, the ESOP, of course, 401k, and all of those amazing things we give to our employees to add value with Wausau Supply.
Well, glad to have you aboard. Obviously, benefits and compensation are hugely important to our employee owners and really to our customers as well, because if we're taking care of our employees, we're in a much better position to serve and take care of our customers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's dive in. Wausau Supply is an ESOP company.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share my knowledge of that. Employee Stock Ownership Plan.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think that I would say after 15 years, I do have a little deeper knowledge. But I'm going to pretend that I don't for the viewers that we have out listening to today's telecast. So tell me what an ESOP is and actually how it works here at Wausau Supply.
Right. So an ESOP, as you stated, is an employee stock ownership plan. It's an employer-funded retirement plan that gives employees ownership opportunities to help grow and invest in these operations.
Wow, that's great. That's great. You know, and I remember coming to work for Wausau. And at the time, I didn't understand what an ESOP was, but I wasn't here for 6 months, and I could see throughout the organization the importance of being an employee owner. I think they just come to work with it in a different way, but we're going to talk more about that as we get on. So can you tell a little bit about, I know you're new, but can you tell a little bit about how Wausau Supply came in ownership and how that all came about?
Certainly. So the ESOP really started in 2001 under Ron, of course. And then at that point, he decided to transition into an ESOP. And the beauty of ESOPs is it allows those long-term legacy owners to transition their succession plans over time. So there's much less disruption with the changeover in the succession, which is a great benefit to these long-standing companies. Less disruption for the customers, less disruption for the owners, and less disruption for Ron, too. That's a big transition in his role as well. So in 2015, the final shares transitioned and Wausau Supply became 100% employee-owned, which is absolutely incredible. When I was evaluating this role, that was certainly one of the standout elements within the benefits suite that really stuck out. It's not a very common feature in benefit plans. It's extremely unique. The fact that it's 100% employee-owned is just really incredible and says a lot about the dedication of Wausau Supply to, the continuity of their product, their customer care, and their dedication to their employees.
Yeah, it is a testament, I think, to, Ron, to have the foresight that he did and to really want to give back to the organization. It has definitely changed who we are and how our people come to work, and it's a huge benefit. And just from my conversations out in the industry, I know many companies that started on the path of becoming an ESOP but never made it that far. A lot of times I think maybe offers come in to an owner, and a lot of times the ESOP just doesn't make it all the way to that 100% employee ownership.
Absolutely. It's definitely a unique feature.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
employee ownership is a powerful tool for retirement, but a lot of organizations have 401ks. What do you see as the difference between an ESOP and a traditional 401k?
It's really just a diversification of those retirement benefits. So at Wausau Supply, we offer a 401k as well. The bulk of the wealth that we're contributing to our employee owners is through the ESOP, but we certainly offer both to make sure our team members have that healthy wealth driving opportunity in multiple areas. So one of the big differences between an ESOP and, the traditional 401k, in a traditional 401k, typically the contribution from an employer is a matched amount. The typical match is 4% of your annual wages. If the employee elects a 4% matching contribution, the company will kick in an equal and commensurate 4%. And there's a million ways to restructure that. But for simplicity's sake, we'll use 4%. In an ESOP, there is no contribution on behalf of the employee. The company is contributing the entire bulk of that into purchasing stock for its team members and employee owners, which is a pretty significant value. Historically, the performance of Wausau Supply has outpaced traditional 401ks. As a financial kind of leaning person, it's great to have both for diversification, but the performance is really great. And I think a lot of that goes back to what you were saying before, is the employees themselves have the motivation to make the company successful, to keep those, the pricing in line with the competition, to keep spending and budgetary controls in place. And there's this cascading goal strategy that in many organizations is difficult to help people on those entry-level tiers have ownership of that strategic plan that's in place. And in ESOP, that becomes very clear because there is ownership as soon as they're vested.
That is awesome. And that's a great understanding that you're sharing with our listeners. And a lot of our listeners are employees, but a lot of people out from our dealer base as well. I think the most important thing you were talking about at the end is really how it changes the culture within an organization. So maybe we could talk a little bit more about that. I think talking about how we are mindful of our pricing and how we stay within budgets and how we expense. But I think to me, what I have seen throughout the organization is really just how we go about our work, the drive, the determination, the tenacity that we have, and the strive for success is something that I think goes hand in hand with that financial reward. So maybe a little bit more on how an ESOP can really change an organizationally, culturally.
Simply, one of the big influences is, we have our individual contributors at every level, but there's a much bigger tie-in throughout the organization to link those efforts across the organization and understand the impacts of other employee owners and how the whole organization comes together as a whole. There's accountability, there's pride. You see a lot of succession. When I look at our employee roles, there are a lot of the same last names and a lot of generational history, which is so neat to see.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I just was looking through the roles and saw how many family members joined Wausau Supply. It's amazing. And then really, I think it's also a testament to, and as a part of an ESOP culture, is really that promotion from within. I think we are intrinsically looking to move people within the organization for opportunity. So,
absolutely. It becomes much easier looking at succession planning when you're elevating owners within roles and looking at investing in that talent and knowledge when they're owners.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been blessed to be part of Wausau Supply. I had little understanding of what an ESOP was when I came to the company. I think in your new role, would there be an opportunity through your position to continue to educate new employees? It's always been difficult if somebody comes on board for them to really see that benefit. So as part of your new role, where there'll be some new education pieces that we bring into play?
Absolutely. We are looking, as a department, trying to elevate some of those educational materials from I say pre-boarding, but at the recruiting stage, helping our potential future employees understand what a value it is. And specifically, our current employees as well, so they understand what their options are. As people are nearing retirement, we have other financial options in terms of diversification, opportunities to help secure their wealth and to create great sustainable environment for them to step away when they're ready to do so. So I think a lot of really great opportunity to expand that educational piece.
Well, it's been really great talking to you. It's really exciting to hear about this new role at Wausau Supply that you're taking on. It's critically important, not only for our ESOP, but really just for the development and recruitment of the organization. So glad to have you aboard. Thanks for taking the time to share with us and talk about ESOP.
It was great talking with you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Shalom Wicks, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're here to talk about ESOP, the impact of the ESOP, and not only are you an employee owner, but you're involved in our ESOP Communication Committee, correct?
I am. I am now the chair for 2026.
Wow.
Pretty excited about it.
Tell me a little bit about what is your role in the ESOP Communication Committee?
So being the chair, I kind of oversee the committee. The committee is a group of 10 employee owners. We try to represent different aspects of the company because we want all those different voices. So when we're planning events and thinking about how to create a positive culture, we want to remember all of the different types of employees we have. So we come together and we really focus on educating because ESOP, not everybody knows about it. So we want everybody to have a good understanding about what the ESOP is. And again, just having activities to have that positive culture because a positive culture makes such a difference in the workplace.
And again, what a commitment from the organization. I know many companies have embarked on the journey of becoming ESOPs, but and many times that doesn't go through. So that was to those who came before us, that this was established for us, I think is a phenomenal benefit to the organization.
Yes.
So you mentioned as part of the ESOP Communication Committee activities. I a lot of times at the office, I see some of these fun things going on that you guys are doing. Tell us about a couple of those things that you guys do throughout the year.
Yeah, so again, we really want to create a positive culture. So there's a big ESOP month in October where you do a lot of things, but even throughout the year, we do things. Everybody gets super excited about the chili cook-off. There's also bake-a-thons, potlucks to bring people together, but even simple things like decorating your office. And really lately, too, we've been getting into donating for the community, clothing drives, food drives, toy drives, really getting on the community, and we want a good community in our company, and that means having a good relationship with our communities where our locations are.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And, there's been a lot of growth here at Wausau Supply. Obviously, you've been part of that. And, making sure that culture comes along with that growth is imperative. And it sounds like the ESOP Communication Committee does a great job of making sure that happens. If you could, I think for a lot of people, we kind of brushed over here a little bit about employee stock ownership, and it's you earn shares in the company, but it's pretty complex. How does the ESOP Communication Committee help our employees understand the program and the benefits of that?
Yeah, so the committee, we now have a communications manager who does a great job on our company newsletter, which includes all of the company activities, recent events, accomplishments, and that really just gets the employees more engaged.
Yeah, so that's great. I think I saw recently maybe something that we were going to have coming up, some kind of like call-in sessions where people could call in and learn more about the ESOP. Is that coming up?
Yes. Yep. We are having educational sessions. So a few of the members have put a lot of time into educational sessions. Again, we want to make sure everyone really understands what the ESOP is and how that benefits you. It's a lot of big words. So really just to make that easy for everyone to understand. So, yep, those are coming up soon. We're really excited about that. But because we've created so much momentum of culture too, the committee is really going to have an added focus on the education this year as well to help out in those areas.
So Shalom, here's a big one, because I think this is probably the most important thing. It was for me, and then other employees that I talk with. I think this is really something that was a turning point for them, and it's really, how does employee ownership change the mindset of an employee?
Yeah, I think being an employee owner kind of puts your mindset into the future. So it's not just about what do I need to get done today? It's about how do I set up for the future of the company, because the company's success impacts your retirement after you leave. So you really want everyone else to be just successful as you are, and you want that success to continue after you leave the company. So it really impacts all different aspects in just the outlook of the company.
That's amazing. I always tell our sales team, Wausau Supply can provide all the resources in the world, from the best products in the market to samples and literature and the tools you need. But the one thing we can't give employees is time. And it sounds like to me that being an employee owner makes sure that you're really using your time valuable.
Yes.
It's been great talking to you about the ESOP. I want to commend you on, I know at Wausau Supply, as a TM, you're busy out helping our customers grow their business. So for you to take on this additional responsibility, I think is a testament to your commitment to the organization and the fellow owners. So thank you for doing that. And it's been great talking with you, Shalom.
Thank you.
Gary Penhale, how are you?
Pretty close and tremendous.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So you are the most tenured Wausau TM siding specialist
Yeah,
on our staff right now, aren't you?
I think I've been for a while.
Yeah, for a long. How long have you been with us, Gary?
Going on, well, it'll be 32 years this year.
32 years. We have a lot of people on our sales team that aren't even 32 years old.
Yeah, I know.
We're here to talk about the ESOP and what that means, the impact that it can have on an organization and individuals. How has the ESOP affected you?
Well, when Ron first brought it up, it was like, what's an ESOP? And I'll be honest, I didn't really care because Ron suggested it. I had to be good. That's the way I looked at it. So I just went with it.
Have you seen, Gary, tell me, how do you feel that employee ownership has influenced how the organization has grown?
Well, what I see mostly is if you see our competitors out there, they have to pay their stockholders. And, when we look at the growth we have, look at the investments we're putting into everything because we're an ESOP. I mean, that's huge. That's where I see it. Look at the last downturn in the economy. Everybody's laying off. Guess what? We're an ESOP. We didn't.
Yeah,
that was a big deal.
For sure. I think, can you tell me a little bit more, Gary? Does it obviously influences in your decisions on how you spend your time, what customers you spend your time with. How do you see how it influences others? You go out and maybe get a new conversion or a new customer, and you're expecting a lot of things to go right back at the office and in manufacturing distribution. How do you see that the ESOP affects the rest of the organization?
Well, funny you ask, because it's kind of interesting. I over the course of your life, especially as a TM, you kind of somewhat get a burnout, if you would. And about every 5 years, you get burnt out, and a lot of people take rash decisions on that, and I believe it, rather than looking at it going, I'm going to still have the stuff I like, the stuff I didn't like, the people I do like, the people I have trouble working with. That's going to happen everywhere. But the ESOP is what should hold you together, because guess what? You have that everywhere else, but you don't have an ESOP everywhere else.
That's amazing. I can remember, to be honest with you, personally, when I came to work for Wausau,
I remember that.
Yes, very good. Appreciate that. I was working at Lowe's at the time, was not somewhere where my entrepreneurial mindset could really deliver to that organization. I was interviewing with Wausau, and they were trying to explain an ESOP to me, and it really didn't matter. I wanted to get out of working at Lowe's, but I would tell you I wasn't here 6 months, and I really understood the impact of the ESOP and how everyone understands their place within the organization and how it contributes to the overall success and the ESOP. So, I think that's really on the people side of things and how it changes mindsets and decisions people make. But there's also the other aspect and the impact that it can have. And that's really how it can impact your family and your future.
Yeah. Well, I look at it as it's we got away with a 401k and we could still contribute, obviously, if you can or cannot. But it's a good retirement when you're going to be done. I hate to say it this way, but I probably don't have to be working. I work right now because I want to be working, because I like working.
Yeah.
But I think people will be rewarded with that. And I don't, it's hard to look at that when you're 20. But when you're 50, the only thing I'm going to say is invest in Roth. So when you're 50, you can retire. Yeah. Because there's a lot of that a lot of people don't plan for. But you're going to be set.
Yeah. Very great. So let me help me out here. So let's say you were talking to a potential employee or a potential person who might thinking about coming to work for Wausau Supply. How would you explain to that prospect the importance and the impact of an ESOP?
Well, like I said before, you have the ability to. You're always going to have fresh new material or manufacturing. The investment is what people don't get. It's look at what we have. Look at what we're developing. I mean, we're state of the art. Your competition is not. So if you're looking at that, that's the biggest thing I see is look what you're working for. I mean, you could be, for instance, a TM that is now in your shoes. That's something where a lot of people don't see that.
And I think that's right. I look at us, we had a new chief human resource officer come on board who had a lot of experience in a lot of big organizations. And one of the first things he said is the internal promotion within the organization. And I think that is driven because of the employee owner. We're really looking to develop people within and give them the opportunity to grow within the organization. So really appreciate you coming on, Aaron, and sharing how the ESOP has impacted you. Want to thank you for your contributions and commitment to the organization.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot, Gary. It's great talking with you.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of today's episode of Red Truck Radio. A huge thank you to Melissa, Shalom, and Gary for sharing their time, stories, and deep commitment to what employee ownership means at Wausau Supply Company. If there's one takeaway from today, it's this. Ownership isn't just a benefit, it's a responsibility, and it's a culture we build together. Every decision we make, every idea we offer, every time we go the extra mile, it all adds up to long-term success for our company and for each of us as employee owners. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, like and subscribe, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of Red Truck Radio.